very sacred place visited by Srila Prabhupada himself. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, and thank you to all the wonderful devotees who are present here. You said there are less number of devotees here today, but I'd like to say something. In Sanskrit literature it is said, Panchabhihi saha sthathavyam, gantavyam panchabhihi saha, panchabhihi saha bhaktavyam na dukkham panchabhihi saha. Panchabhihi saha sthathavyam. If you want to stay in one place, stay with at least 5 people. Because if you quarrel with one person, you have 4 other people to talk to. Gantavyam panchabhihi saha. If you travel somewhere, travel with 5 people. Because if you, while traveling, if you get into some difficulty, you have 5 people to protect you. And panchabhihi saha bhaktavyam. If you are speaking, giving a talk, there should be at least how many people? 5 people. So let's count how many are here. There are more than 5, yeah. So that na dukkham pancha. So there is no unhappiness. It's all happiness. At least how many are present? 5. So of course there will be more tomorrow, but I'm very thankful. Hare Krishna. So everybody speaks English or understands English? Right. So while the presentation is being set up, the projector is being set up, we will quickly do Jai Radha Madhav and then I'll begin speaking today. Do we have Karta? Yes. Thank you. Also, Prabhu, you're kindly assisted by your good wife. Her name is Gandharvika Rai Mataji. So my pranams to her also. And your daughter, her name is? Sangeeta. Sangeeta. Wonderful. Okay. Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. So thank you once again, dear devotees, for kindly being present here today. And I'm very thankful to each and every one of you for kindly being present here today. And today I'd like to speak something about a topic which is very essential for us, but often we don't understand it in such great detail. A very simple question which I'd like to begin with. The form of yoga that we are practicing today here is known as Bhakti Yoga. So does, the Bhagavad Gita have a definition of Bhakti Yoga? If a question is asked, does the Bhagavad Gita, the most essential literature, does it have a definition of Bhakti Yoga?
Of course it does.
Alright, wonderful. So Prabhu, your good name?
Ramapriya Das.
Ramapriya. So Ramapriya Prabhu says, of course there is a definition. Okay Prabhu, what is the definition?
Well, Bhakti Yoga is loving devotional service that you offer to the Lord in order to develop Bhakti.
Okay. So Bhakti Yoga is loving devotional service. Alright. But we are looking for a definition from the Bhagavad Gita. Is there any verse in the Bhagavad Gita which defines Bhakti Yoga? Mataji says no.
I don't think there's really a definition.
Oh, wonderful. Your good name, Mataji?
Gaurangi Dasi.
Gaurangi Mataji, yes. So Gaurangi Mataji, she read the Bhagavad Gita and then she saying nothing really. I agree with her because I read the Bhagavad Gita a few number of times, but I could not find an exact definition of Bhakti in the Bhagavad Gita. There are many verses which speak of Bhakti. I will give an example of a few verses. Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. Krishna says to Arjuna, offer your mind in me, pay obeisances to me, offer all sacrifices unto me. But these are the activities of Bhakti Yoga. Is there a definition of Bhakti?
Bhakti Mama Janati.
Yes?
Everything offers to me.
Wonderful. Mataji, your good name? Indu? Indulekha. Indulekha Mataji says, offer everything unto me. Alright? So, that particular verse is in the Bhagavad Gita. What does Krishna says? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, where he says, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpana. Whatever you do as an offering unto me. But that is an instruction. How does a definition look? A definition should contain the term which is being defined. So if we have to define Bhakti Yoga, the definition should contain the term Bhakti in it.
Contain the what?
It should have the word Bhakti in it. In the verse that has been specified, Krishna is specifying what one should do. It is an instruction. Like if I ask anybody, if I go to a mathematics professor and if I ask him, what is the definition of a complex number? He will tell me exactly what is the definition of a particular number from a textbook. But in the Bhagavad Gita, we are not able to find any specific definition of Bhakti Yoga. But today we are practicing Bhakti Yoga, but we should have a definition of Bhakti Yoga. Now I would like to invite a few answers from each and every one of you. What do you think is Bhakti Yoga? So please define Bhakti Yoga either by yourself or from Shastra. Because it's such an important thing, it's something which we are doing 24 hours a day. And if we are not able to define Bhakti Yoga, then that is a problem. Alright, Prabhu, your good name?
Christopher.
Christopher. So Christopher, Prabhu, kindly define Bhakti Yoga.
So I know one shloka, I don't know if it's entered Rishikena Rishikesha, Sevana Bhakti Ruchate.
Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Prabhu has done his homework. So Christopher, Prabhu, you are close. You are very close. Do you know the translation of that verse?
Not word for word, but is serving the senses of Krishna with my senses.
Okay.
This is called Bhakti.
Serving the senses of Krishna with your senses is called Bhakti. Wonderful. Now I would like to ask a question, Prabhu. Now you made it more interesting because you spoke an answer which is close to what I wanted to say. Service of Krishna is Bhakti. What about service to the devotee? Is service to the devotee also Bhakti?
Yes.
But your definition doesn't contain that. Your definition says, whose Sevanam?
Rishikesha.
Rishikesha Sevanam. It does not say Bhakta Sevanam. So, as long as I am directly serving Sri Radha Govind Madhav, till that point of time I am performing Bhakti. Now, if I decide to serve Premanand Prabhu, immediately it will not become Bhakti.
But can you also say that Krishna says that you can only approach me through my serving, if you serve my devotee, you can approach me and understand me.
Wonderful.
You cannot serve me directly.
Yes.
I don't know if that is what you meant.
That is true that if you want to approach Krishna, you have to approach through a devotee. But we have to put 2-3 verses together to make a definition now.
Bhakti Mama Vijananti.
Bhaktya Mama Vijanati. Wonderful. Through Bhakti I am to be known. But what is Bhakti? That technical definition has to be understood. Dear devotees, today would all of us like to see the various definitions of Bhakti?
Yes.
And one definition which covers everything and nothing left out. Would all of you like to see one such definition today? Yes?
Yes.
So let us today understand what is Bhakti Yoga, because that is what we have been doing all our lives. But what is the definition of Bhakti Yoga? Now I tried to find a lot in the Bhagavad Gita, but there is no single definition of Bhakti Yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. Then there is a literature which Srila Prabhupada translated, and I will highlight this literature. This literature is called Narad Bhakti Sutra. And in Narad Bhakti Sutra, there is a specific section called as Defining Bhakti. And you can see here on the screen.
Yes.
Defining Bhakti. So in Narad Bhakti Sutra, various great authorities are trying to define Bhakti. Now let's try to see every definition one by one. And we have to put every definition through the test. If a definition does not satisfy all the criteria, we will not accept it as our definition. Alright? Is everyone ready to see every definition one by one? Alright, let's begin. Very good. So, Sutra 15, Narad Bhakti Sutra. Narad Muni says, please repeat after me. Everybody can see? Yes. Tallakshanani Vachyante Nana Mata. So Sri Narad Muni says, Tallakshanani, the lakshana, the characteristics of bhakti I will now give. Vachyante, I will give the characteristics, the definition of bhakti. But there is a problem. What is the problem? Nana Mata Bheda. There are many differences of opinion here in defining bhakti. Okay? Let's begin. Let's see what Srila Prabhupada translates it. Christopher Prabhu, can you kindly read the translation?
Now the characteristics of devotional service will be described according to the various authoritative opinions.
But why various opinions? How many opinions should we have? One.
But the acharyas are many.
Acharyas are many. And therefore many acharyas give many opinions. But we have to put every opinion through the test. Because we will not just accept blindly. We will see if the definition satisfies all the criteria that we need. Alright? Srila Prabhupada often said, believe but don't believe blindly. Put it through the test. Alright? So we will put every definition through the test. And I will ask a question. And then we will see whether the definition satisfies all the criteria or not. Let's see the first definition in the next sutra. This is Sutra 16. Please repeat after me. Pujadishu Anuraga Iti Parasharya. Parasharya is the son of Parashar Muni, that is Vyasadeva. So who is giving the first definition, dear devotees? Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva defines. Puja Adishu Anuraga. Anurag means deep attachment for puja, etc. Question is, whose puja? Krishna's puja, obviously, right? Let's see how Prabhupada translates. Lieutenant Prabhu, can you kindly read the translation?
Srila Vasudeva, the son of Parasara Muni, says that Bhakti is fond attachment for worshipping the Lord in various ways.
Worshipping puja in various ways. Now question is, puja is Bhakti and giving a Bhagavatam class, is that Bhakti or not? Hearing of Bhagavatam class, is that Bhakti or not?
Yes.
Yes. But is that included in the definition? No, doesn't look like. Therefore, Nana Matabheda. Therefore, there are many opinions. Some acharyas have covered one section. Achha, I will ask you another question. Puja, worship of Sri Sri Radha Govind Madhav is Bhakti. Worship of the devotee of Sri Sri Radha Govind Madhav, is that Bhakti or not Bhakti?
Yes.
That's not given in the definition. Alright, so somewhere the definition is not satisfying all the criteria. No problem, we will go to the next definition. Alright, there is a reason why all these definitions were given by Narad Muni. Narad Muni himself is not satisfied with one definition. Therefore, he is giving many definitions. Next sutra. Kathadishu iti gargaha. So, who is the next authority? Garga Muni. Garga Muni says Katha Adishu. From the previous sutra, the term is Anuraga. Anuraga means deep attachment. It carries forward. Deep attachment for what? Katha. What is the meaning of Katha? Descriptions of whom? What about descriptions of devotees? Oh, that is not included. Let's read the translation. Prabhuji, Rama
Priya.
Priya.
Ganga Muni says that Bhakti is fondness for narrations about the Lord, by the Lord, and so on.
Yeah. So everything related to the Lord. What about the poor devotees? Because, what about narrations of the devotees?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we hear Srila Prabhupada Katha, is that Bhakti or not Bhakti?
Yes.
It is. But the definition doesn't say anything about Bhakta.
But can you say
So on.
even Krishna speaks in the Gita, he speaks about himself less than he's speaking about his devotees.
Yes. Therefore, he is speaking more about himself and less about his devotees.
No, he's speaking more about his devotees and less about himself.
Oh, he speaks a lot about himself.
Yes, but he's also speaking about his devotees.
Yes. There's an entire chapter where he says, amongst the fighters I am Parshuram. Amongst the trees I am the banyan, sacred people tree. There's an entire chapter where he's speaking only about himself.
Well, that's the glory of the Absolute. He's speaking
Yes.
about his glory. He's explaining to Arjuna,
Okay.
this is me.
Let's agree that he is speaking more about his devotees in the Bhagavad Gita. Agreed. But we are looking for a definition which includes them. Because a definition is supposed to be very technical, very precise. In one verse, it should contain everything.
One word?
In one sentence.
Oh.
One shloka, it should contain everything.
Do we have to make it, or does it exist?
Yeah, that's an important question. Do we have to make it, or does it exist? The good news is it exists. But the credit goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'll bring out the definition. But let's see one by one each definition. This was the second definition, alright? The third definition. Please repeat. Atmarati avirodhena iti shandilya. Now the third authority is Shandilya Muni. Shandilya Muni says avirodhena. Avirodhena means with no obstruction. No obstruction to what? Atmarati, taking pleasure in the Supreme Self, in the Supreme Lord. To always take pleasure in thinking of the Supreme Lord is Bhakti. This is the definition of Shandilya Muni. Let's read the translation. Christopher Prabhu, can you kindly read?
Shandilya says that bhakti results from one's removing all obstructions to taking pleasure in the Supreme Self.
Yes. So this is another definition centered around Krishna. All the definitions are being centered around whom? Krishna. Alright. Then, finally Narad Muni says, now I will give my opinion. Alright. Let's hear in Narad Bhakti Sutra the opinion of Narad Muni. Please repeat after me. Naradastu tad arpita akhila charata tad vismarane parama vyakulata iti. And Narad Muni says, I am going to give a big definition. Naradastu, tu means however, Narad Muni, myself, he is saying. What does he say? Tad arpita akhila charata, offering everything to him. To whom?
Krishna.
To Krishna. Like Mataji said, offering everything to Krishna. And tad vismarane, in forgetting Krishna, parama vyakulta, if you forget Krishna, you become very distressed. This is bhakti. Alright, let's read the translation. Mataji, can you read?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
You want me to read the translation?
Translation, yeah.
Narada, however, says that bhakti consists of offering one's every act to the Supreme Lord and feeling extremely distressed in forgetting Him.
Yes, wonderful. This definition is centered around the Lord or the devotee? No.
Not at all.
I mean, the emphasis on forgetting the Lord, right? Who's forgetting? It's the devotee.
Alright, but forgetting whom? The Lord.
The Lord.
So we have all these wonderful definitions, but not a single definition that takes into account the devotee. Alright, many activities were mentioned. Puja, let's begin with the definition of Vyasadeva. Puja was mentioned, Katha was mentioned, remembering was mentioned, offering everything to Krishna was mentioned. Achha, what about driving a car for Krishna? Which definition covers that?
What?
Driving a car for Krishna.
Yeah, it depends where you're going.
No, he's asking where do you classify it?
Does any definition cover driving a car for Krishna?
Free everything.
Once
None of them.
every act.
If Lord Prabhu is going to get shopping for the ladies,
Wonderful.
I suppose it is devotional service, an act of bhakti.
Wonderful. But it is not supposed to, I suppose, we should have a definition which should cover it. Otherwise, tomorrow Loshan Prabhu will go to buy something from the grocery, he is confused, is it devotional service or not? And then somebody may ask him, is it bhakti? He may say, I suppose it is bhakti, but I don't have a definition to back it up.
Why do you have a definition?
Yeah.
What's the absolute definition of bhakti?
Wonderful.
Give me the absolute definition.
Yes.
There are so many definitions.
Yes.
That's what
Give us the absolute
Prabhu
definition.
is taking us
Yes.
there slowly.
So we'll get there soon. No problem.
It's bhakti, but I don't know. I mean, you have so many different ways of serving Krishna, and it still counts as a bhakti. As bhakti, I don't know.
Wonderful. So, if Narad Muni is asked, you gave these various definitions, which one is correct? So Narad Muni in the next sutra says something. Please repeat after me. Asti evam evam.
Asti evam evam.
So, Preman Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
Bhakti is in fact correctly described in each of these ways.
So, which definition is correct, dear devotees? All. Yeah, he's saying, evam evam, all the definitions are correct.
So it's because it is an absolute plan. It's on the absolute.
Wonderful. But how many definitions did we read?
4.
4 definitions. Now we should have a patchwork of 4 definitions. And wherever we go, anybody asks, what is bhakti? Then we say, Vyasadeva says, Gargamuni says, Chandilya says, Narad says, and all of these are correct. But none of these covers driving a car for Krishna.
No, say it again.
None of the definition covers driving a car for Krishna.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, of course,
Yeah, it
at
does.
that time there was no car.
Wonderful.
There's a chariot.
There was, none of the definition covers driving a chariot for Krishna.
No, I'm sorry. Narada Muni.
Bull car.
All kinds of
Or the
activities.
bull car.
That's included.
Alright. But offer to whom?
Of course, you know.
For Krishna.
Yeah.
And what about driving a car for the devotees?
It's absolute.
Yes.
Service is absolute. So
That's-
whatever
that's
you do for
the-
Krishna, it counts as a bhakti.
Wonderful. So what all of you are doing is, all of you are writing your own commentary to the sutras. You are giving a commentary to the sutra, which I appreciate very much. Let's hear a definition which covers everything, leaves nothing out. Future-proof definition. If there is something which has not yet been invented, it will be invented maybe 100 years later. But if you use it in the service of Krishna or in the service of the devotee, it should be known as bhakti. And it should have the term bhakti within it. The definition should have the term within it. Would all of you like to hear such a verse? Yes. So let's hear one such verse which defines bhakti, which has everything included, which is future proof, which I am guaranteeing that in the future, if anything comes up and you use it in the service of Krishna, the definition will cover it. Alright? So let's see such a definition. This definition was given by none other than Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. He is the Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the personality who was personally empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to understand the definition and the application of bhakti. And Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada gave a wonderful definition of bhakti. It is in front of us. This is originally from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. And the definition is as follows. Please repeat after me. Anya bhilashita shunyam.
Anya bhilashita shunyam.
Jnana karma dhyanavritam.
Jnana karma dhyanavritam.
Anukulyena krishnanu.
Anukulyena krishnanu.
Sevanam bhaktiruttama.
Sevanam bhaktiruttama.
Is the term bhakti included in the definition? Yes.
Bhakti Uttama.
Yes. Bhakti, the term is there. First condition satisfied. Alright. Rupa Goswami is saying, I will define bhakti. Because I am writing a literature, the name of the literature is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. The nectarian ocean of devotion. And if in my book I don't define what is devotion, what is the use of my book? First and foremost, I should define what is bhakti. Let's have a definition of bhakti. And Rupa Goswami has seen all the previous definitions and he is not satisfied. So he is giving a definition which covers everything and leaves nothing out. First and foremost, Rupa Goswami says, I will not define simply bhakti. I will define bhaktir uttama. Uttama bhakti. What am I going to define? Uttama bhakti. Uttama means
Supreme.
supreme, the purest variety of bhakti. Why? I give a small example. Let's say Christopher Prabhu is my friend. He says, "Hey Parshad Das, get me a glass of water." Right? So if I go to him with 4 glasses of water, Christopher Prabhu, this is fully impure water. First glass. The second glass has half pure water. The third glass has almost pure water with little impurity. And the fourth glass is pure water. Christopher Prabhu will say, "Why did you bring 4 glasses? You should only bring how many glasses? Which water do you want?"
Pure.
Oh, you want fully pure water. Why, Prabhu? Half impure? Not okay?
I mean, it tastes better.
Everybody wants fully pure water. Why? Because we are going to directly drink it. Our health depends upon it. So while defining bhakti, our life depends upon it. So which type of bhakti should we define? Pure bhakti. No impure variety of bhakti should be defined. So this, dear devotees, is what Rupa Goswami is going to define. Bhakti. But which bhakti?
Uttama.
Uttama. Bhakti is a lady. So it is not Uttama, it is Uttama. Names of ladies in Sanskrit literature end with A, E, U. They don't end with the short A. You can see all the initiated names. None of the initiated names ends with a small A. It ends with A, E, U. Any initiated devotee here, Mataji, who has a name ending with a short A? No. It's not in the grammar of the language. Right? So, Uttama Bhakti. We are going to define Uttama Bhakti. Let's see what is the definition. Rupa Goswami says 3 characteristics only. Only 3 characteristics are required to define Uttama Bhakti. First is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Shunyam means 0. What should become 0? Abhilashita, desires. Which desires? Anya, other desires. Other desires should become 0. What is the meaning of other desires? Desires other than bhakti should become what? 0. Now Rupa Goswami here has given a very fine technical point. Dear devotees, hear carefully. In the devotee, all desires besides the desire for bhakti should become 0. Now, somebody may say this is a very high definition, because how many of us have 0 material desires? This is the task of an expert person. He is giving a textbook definition. Rupa Goswami is giving which definition? Textbook definition. In a textbook definition, things have to be ideal. Because if in the definition he brings it down, then people will follow even lower than that. So in the definition he has to keep it ideal. If you see a textbook of mathematics, if you see a textbook of science, there are many definitions there. All the definitions are supposed to be ideal textbook definitions. And in real life, you may have not so ideal situations. But just because real life is not so ideal, should we change the textbook? No. Therefore, the definition is a textbook definition. Very strict definition. Other desires besides the desire for bhakti should become 0. Rupa Goswami says Anya Abhilashita, almost 0. Doesn't say fully 0. What does he say? Almost 0. Why almost 0? Because he says in some emergency situations, for example, if a devotee is facing life-threatening situations, he may call out to Krishna, he or she may call out to Krishna, Krishna, please save me. Then somebody may say, hey, you are supposed to be a devotee, why did you ask for something besides bhakti? So for keeping that small window, Rupa Goswami said, Anya Abhilashita. Ita means a little bit of gap is there, only for emergency situations, not for anything else.
Do you mean like Gajendra, when he called Gajendra when he was...
Yes, Gajendra.
Oh, okay,
That sort of a situation. Let's say you are walking on the street, suddenly you see a truck coming in your direction. shout out, Krishna save me. Now somebody may pause this situation and say, hey, why did you pray for yourself?
But it's not that when danger, when you're facing with danger, it's natural to call upon God.
Yes.
So I think it's a prayer, like, please save me. So I don't know, do you think it's material or it's what is it?
But it is a prayer for saving, it is a prayer for saving oneself. And we are defining which bhakti? Uttama bhakti. So Rupa Goswami says, while defining, I am giving a little window where you can, if your life is in danger, you can pray for yourself. That little window is there. Alright, this is the first characteristic. Second, Jnana Karma Adi Anavritam. What is the meaning of Anavritam? Avritam means covered. For example, you take a piece of cloth, you cover something, this is called Avritam. Anavritam means uncovered. Bhakti should not be covered. Should not be covered by what? Other philosophies in life. What are the other philosophies in life? Jnana, Karma, Adi. Some people, they are devotees, but their bhakti is covered by karma. I'll give you an example. Bhakti is okay, but the important thing is to perform your duties. Some people think like that. In their case, their bhakti is covered by karma. Some other people think bhakti is okay, but the main thing is to gain knowledge. Jnana. Their bhakti is covered by jnana. Some other people think bhakti is okay, but as long as your astrological planets are not proper, you will not make advancement. Their bhakti is covered by adi, etc. Etc. includes many other things. Bhakti is okay, but as soon as that happens, the bhakti gets covered by something. Rupa Goswami says, Anya abhilashita shunyam. Other desires should become completely zero. But jnana karma, he doesn't say shunya. Jnana karma has to be there. Little bit of work you have to do. Little bit of knowledge you are supposed to have. But it should never cover your bhakti. Your bhakti should always remain on top of that.
But your knowledge of Krishna, jnana of Krishna.
Yeah.
That's what Krishna says. What's that shloka? Jnana Prabhu. First you know me, you have knowledge of me, and then you develop love for me.
Yes. Wonderful. But this is not speaking about Jnana of Krishna. It is speaking about Jnana of other Shastras. For example, Vedanta, etc. Bhakti is okay, but unless you study Vedanta, some people think like that. Bhakti is okay, but unless you study a particular type of Shastra, you will not advance. Some people think like that. Jnana of Krishna is directly Bhakti. Jnana of Krishna is directly Bhakti. So this is the second characteristic. Now third and most important characteristic, dear devotees, Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. This is the third characteristic. Shilanam. What is the meaning of Shilanam? Shilanam means to practice any activity. Shilanam means to practice any activity. Vyasadeva had said Pujanam, to worship. Garga Muni had said Katha, to hear narrations. Rupa Goswami is saying Shilanam. Shilanam means to practice any activity. The term Shilanam includes all the verbs in the Sanskrit language. Any activity that is possible is included in the term Shilanam. So performing any activity, Rupa Goswami says not only Shilanam, Anushilanam, repeatedly performing any activity. Alright? Not only Anushilanam, Krishna Anushilanam, repeatedly performing any activity for whom? Krishna. That's also not enough. Anukulyena, favorably and repeatedly performing any activity for Krishna is known as Uttama Bhakti. Now, this is the definition. Repeatedly favorably performing any activity for Krishna is known as bhakti. But not just bhakti. Which type of bhakti? Uttama. Uttama bhakti. It is known as. Now,
how long does it take to get to that stage of Uttama?
wonderful. That's another question. But first we have to test the definition just as we strictly tested every other definition. We should also put this definition to the test. Otherwise people will say you are biased towards Rupa Goswami. Because Rupa Goswami is your Acharya, therefore you are biased towards Rupa Goswami. Anukulyena, whose Anushilanam? Rupa Goswami says Anukulyena Krishna. So the definition is in relation to whom? Krishna. What about the devotee?
Well, they are included, Krishna and his devotee, automatically, because it's...
Alright. So, Srila Jiva Goswami, when Rupa Goswami was writing this definition, there was a person sitting next to him who was fanning Rupa Goswami. The commentator on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the nephew of Rupa Goswami was sitting next to him. Who is he? Srila Jiva Goswami was sitting next to him. Srila Jiva Goswami at that point of time asked Srila Rupa Goswami this question. You have said Krishna Anushilanam, repeatedly performing any activity for whom? Krishna. What about repeatedly performing any activity for a devotee of Krishna? Rupa Goswami said that is already included in my definition. Look properly. So Jiva Goswami saw, and then Rupa Goswami explained something to him. He said, see here, this is the term. Krishna Anushilanam. And see here, Krishna Anushilanam, this is the term. What is the meaning of Krishna Anushilanam? Shilanam means practice. Anu means repeated practice. For whom? Krishna. Rupa Goswami says Krishna Anushilanam has two meanings. What is the first meaning? He says Krishna Artha Anushilanam, which means direct practice of activities directly for Krishna. And then Rupa Goswami said it has a second meaning. What is the second meaning? Rupa Goswami said Krishna Sambandhi Anushilanam. Repeatedly performing any activity for anything or anyone related to Krishna, not only devotee. Repeatedly performing any activity for anyone or anything related to Krishna. The middle term goes away. Artha goes away. What remains is Krishna Anushilanam. The middle term goes away. Sambandhi goes away. What remains is Krishna Anushilanam, according to the rules of grammar. So, Rupa Goswami said, not only devotee of Krishna, what about the temple of Krishna? If you clean the temple, cleaning the temple, is it bhakti or not bhakti?
Yes.
Bhakti. But it is Krishna Artha Anushilanam or Krishna Sambandhi Anushilanam? Sambandhi. It is related to Krishna. Now I will ask a few questions. Wearing a garland from the deity of Krishna, is it bhakti or not? Yes. Is it Krishna Artha or Krishna Sambandhi? No. You are wearing a garland directly from whom?
Krishna.
Of Krishna.
Direct.
Directly from. Wearing a garland which Prabhupada has worn, is it bhakti or not bhakti?
Yeah.
Bhakti. But it is Krishna Artha or Krishna Sambandhi?
Sambandhi.
Now we understand. Okay. Pulling the chariot of Lord Jagannath, is it Krishna Artha Anushilanam or Krishna Sambandhi?
First one.
Krishna Artha. Driving a car for a devotee, is it Krishna Artha or Krishna Sambandhi?
Sambandhi.
Now we understand. So Jiva Goswami wrote it in his Sanskrit commentary. Krishna Anushilanam has two meanings. Krishna Artham Anushilanam, Krishna Sambandhi Anushilanam. Now I will ask a question. Any activity left out?
What?
Is there any activity of bhakti left out from this definition?
No.
Yes.
Everything is there.
Everything is there. If 1000 years later somebody invents something new and they use it for Krishna or the devotee, will it be covered?
Yes.
The definition is future proof. When Rupa Goswami wrote the definition, cars were not invented. Today cars are there. Does the definition cover cars? Yes. So Sri Rupa Goswami finally managed to write a definition which covers each and every activity of bhakti with nothing left out. 100%. We call it foolproof, future proof definition of bhakti. But he is not defining bhakti. He is defining which bhakti? Uttama bhakti. Why? Because if the definition is ideal, then in reality people will fall somewhere below the ideal. But if he brings down the definition to a lower standard, people will follow even lower than that. Therefore, the definition has to be kept ideal. Like Srila Prabhupada said, deity worship should be ideal. Some places devotees are able to maintain. Some places devotees are in homes. Devotees are often not able to maintain the ideal standard. But does it mean we should bring down the definition? So the textbook definition never changes. So this is the definition of bhakti, and it is only in the sampradaya of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is only Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada who could give a definition that covers everything and leaves nothing out, including service to the devotee, service to the temple, service to Tulsi Maharani, service to any entity related to Krishna is covered in the definition. That is the definition. Now, there is another important thing. How many characteristics were given? 3 characteristics. First characteristic is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Second is Jnana Karma Adi Anavritam. Third is Anukulyena Krishna Anushedana. We defined bhakti by giving 3 characteristics. First is other material desires besides bhakti should become almost zero. Almost zero. Emergency situations are exempted, but almost zero. Second, your bhakti should never get covered by other philosophies in life. Because nowadays people have this habit of window shopping through various philosophies. Even though they may be, they may visit the temple for a few days and then they may say, I like it, but for a few more, I'll go to another place where I'll learn about jnana, another place where I'll learn about Ashtanga Yoga. And what they do is just like when we go to a superstore, we see the various brands and we select, sometimes we select this brand and sometimes we select that brand. And that is what people do even with philosophies of life. Rupa Goswami says this is not Uttama Bhakti. Uttama Bhakti means bhakti should be the topmost philosophy of life of a particular individual. Second characteristic. And third characteristic, repeated favorable service to Krishna or any entity related to Krishna. Rupa Goswami says Anukulyena. Most important characteristic is your service should be favorable. If at any point of time a person is developing unfavorable nature towards Krishna or towards devotee, the service doesn't count as Uttama Bhakti. It may be Bhakti, but it doesn't count as which Bhakti? Uttama Bhakti. For example, there are some people who think that I am performing Bhakti so that Krishna doesn't degrade me in my next life. Performing Bhakti out of fear. Krishna is the policeman in the sky. And he has said, if you don't perform Bhakti, you will get degraded in your next life. So better perform Bhakti. So begrudgingly somebody performs Bhakti. Is it favorable or unfavorable? Unfavorable.
But this depends the proportion, it could be a little fear and a lot of devotion. So, isn't that a question of proportion, so just...
Wonderful. But Rupa Goswami says anukulyena, zero negativity,
okay.
fully favorable. That's when you call it pure. Krishna is not the punishing God. No. Krishna is, we call him, Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. On one hand, every morning we say, Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. And how on the other hand can we consider Krishna to be the policeman in the sky? Those are conceptions we have developed. Krishna is not that sort of a God. Never for the devotees. Never for the devotees. In the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, is there any devotee whom Krishna willingly, just for the sake of fun, put in trouble? No. In the entire 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, did Krishna deal improperly with any devotee? So why do we think that Krishna is that policeman in the sky? That is not the Gaudiya Vaishnava God. That is not our Bhagavan.
Because we've been conditioned, Christianity is like, yeah, it's gonna get you.
Oh, every religion is like that.
Hmm?
Every religion has some aspect like that. You come to Hindu Dharma. I am from India. You come to Hindu Dharma. You will find, if you don't follow this vow for 7 Mondays, something wrong will happen with you.
But don't devotees also present that aspect of, if you don't do this, if you eat meat, you're going to go to hell, you know.
Yes. But they are speaking to the non-devotees. To the non-devotees they say like that. But to the devotees, there is no fear. Because Krishna says in the Gita, Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even little bit of religiosity will protect you from the greatest fear. And it will protect you at a time when you most need it. That is the time when this Krishna Bhakti that you have performed, it will protect you. Now,
what does it say, Prabhupada, about the most dangerous fear? What is he referring to?
The most?
He says, Chayate Mayato Bhaya. He says that, a little advancement on this path can protect you from the most dangerous fear. What is Prabhupada talking about? What is that fear?
Those are the words of Krishna, Mahato Bhaya.
Prabhupada explains in the purport. What is it? He says that he's talking about the most dangerous fear. What is it? What is referring to?
Taking birth again.
Okay.
Taking birth again. Because death means losing control over everything that you have. In a single moment, losing control over everything that you have. Yes, I forgot your name.
Maybe there was a little bit scared of doing offers, maybe, and Maya.
Okay. The devotees are little scared of doing offense. They're little scared of Maya. But they are not scared of Krishna. One thing. They are not supposed to be scared of Krishna. Anukulyena. Towards Krishna one is supposed to be always favorable. Krishna Nushilana. Okay, now I am coming to another main point. 3 characteristics were given. Alright, Rupa Goswami says, first 2 characteristics are secondary. First 2 characteristics are secondary. The third characteristic is the main characteristic. What is secondary characteristic? What is main characteristic? Please hear carefully. I am giving some explanation. For example, if somebody asks me, where is Premanand Prabhu's home? I say you go to Belgium and you find the home where maximum number of parrots are sitting. That is Premanand Prabhu's home. And somebody goes there and somebody finds a home where many parrots are sitting. And it is actually his home. So I have defined his home. But tomorrow if the parrots fly away, will it still remain your home, yes or no? not be present. Now somebody asked me, where is Premanand Prabhu's home? I said, go to Belgium, go to this street, house number this, it is registered in his name. That is his home. That is called primary characteristic. Because if that changes, it will no longer remain his home. That is called secondary characteristic and primary characteristic. So secondary characteristic sometimes is there, sometimes is not there. Primary characteristic must be there. Otherwise, you cannot call it, you cannot define it. So the first characteristic is Anya Bilashita Shunyam. All other material desires should become zero. Did Dhruva have zero material desires?
To start with.
No. Yes, to start with.
To start with he had, but when he saw the Lord,
After seeing the Lord he did have. But when he started his practice of bhakti, he had.
he did have.
Yes, yes. He wanted a kingdom greater than his great grandfather. So he is not Anya Bilashita Shunyam. He flouted the condition, yet he got Uttama Bhakti. Because the first two characteristics are secondary characteristics. Sometimes they may be there, sometimes they may not be there. If Bhagavan decides, if Krishna decides, even secondary characteristic is not there, still I am going to give him bhakti. He will give bhakti to that individual. The four Kumaras, they were having jnana in them, lot of knowledge when they approached Bhagavan. Their bhakti was covered by jnana. Still Bhagavan decided, I will give them bhakti. They got bhakti. Second characteristic is also secondary. Yes, you got name, Prabhuji?
Sundar Gopal.
Sundar Gopal. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. But how can we say that Dhruva's devotion was anukul? Because he was performing for himself, not favorably to Krishna.
Wonderful. The same question was asked by Jiva Goswami to Rupa Goswami. How do we know what is anukul, what is favorable? Rupa Goswami says, pratikul shunyam, it should not be unfavorable.
Yes, that's a little bit.
I'm motivated, you can also say.
Yeah.
I'm motivated.
Unmotivated. Yeah. It should not be unfavorable, then it is favorable. It should not be unfavorable. Then you can call it favorable.
Can you speak slowly? Because
Okay, sorry.
it goes fast.
His question is, how do we know if bhakti is favorable?
Yeah.
Rupa Goswami's answer is, it should not be unfavorable. Then it is automatically considered as favorable.
Yeah, but it's turning around the definition.
No. He is saying, how do you know it is favorable? If there is zero unfavorability, automatically it will become favorable.
But in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, when you have material desires like him, is it not practical enough?
No.
Because it's not supposed to, we're not supposed to be the center.
We are not supposed to be the center, understood? But when he was chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, whom was he meditating upon? Himself or on Vishnu?
Vishnu.
So the center was Vishnu.
Yeah.
So that is very clear. His process was Vishnu centric. But he had material desires. He flouted the first condition. Yet, did he get Uttama Bhakti? Yes. But if you flout the third condition, you can never get Uttama Bhakti. That is the main condition. What is the third condition? Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Repeated, favorable service towards Krishna or his devotees. If that condition is flouted, you can never call it Uttama Bhakti.
So, can we say that it was favorable because he was following Narada Muni?
Yes.
So, this is also one
One
reason. No?
is favorable because he followed the process.
Oh, given.
Yes. Also, he had no grudges against Krishna. He has no grudges against Vishnu while he is performing his process. Okay. Yes, Mataji, what to say?
And I'm trying to follow it.
Okay. So it is, he is performing for Bhagavan without any grudges. Therefore, it is considered automatically favorable. Right? So this, dear devotees, is the definition of bhakti. Now I will give some time question and answers. So if anybody has some questions or answers, they can ask now. Yes. Your good name, Mataji?
Ananga.
We don't have a mic, you know. But we should have a mic.
It's not completely related to the subject, but also in a book, in the Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada, I don't know even which story, it's about the demon is meditating so unfavorably to Krishna. Of course, he didn't get bhakti, he got liberation. But Srila Prabhupada, he said his meditation was more powerful because he was so unfavorable. How can we understand? I cannot remember this story.
Oh, this is,
What's the question?
the question is, in Krishna book, she has read, Srila Prabhupada is saying that there is a demon who meditated on Krishna and he, very unfavorably. And Prabhupada says his meditation was more powerful than, you know, how the devotees meditate favorably. So this is actually from the Bhagavatam. It is there mentioned directly in the Bhagavatam. I will pull out the verse, right?
I mean, Kamsa is
Maybe Kamsa.
Kamsa, you know, this obsession with.
See, this is Bhagavatam 7th canto, 1st chapter, 27th verse. Please repeat after me. Yatha vairānubandena martyasthanmayatamiya na tatha bhakti yogena iti me nishchitamati. Narad Muni is saying, Mataji, you only read the translation.
Narada Muni continued. By devotional service, one cannot achieve such intense absorption in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one can through enmity toward Him. That is my opinion.
This is what you were looking for. Yes? This is what you heard in the Krishna book. So Srila Prabhupada was paraphrasing this verse from the Bhagavatam. Now, Narad Muni says you can become more absorbed in Krishna by hating Krishna. Question arises, bhakti is about pleasing whom? Or pleasing myself. Anukulyena, favorably. Favorable towards whom? Krishna. If somebody hates Krishna, is it favorable towards Krishna or unfavorable towards Krishna? Narad Muni says you can become more absorbed, but it will not fall in the definition of bhakti. These people, they got impersonal liberation. These demons, when Krishna killed them, did they become pure devotees or did they get impersonal liberation? Impersonal liberation. Impersonal liberation means you merging into Brahma Jyoti, which is not bhakti. So, if we want to become devotees, we should be anukulyena. See, the definition contained everything that can be asked. Anukulyena. Alright? Anybody else? Yes.
Can be pretty discouraging, you know. It's so elevated.
Yeah.
We can become discouraged. You know.
We can become discouraged. At the same time, Therefore, Rupa Goswami had said that first two conditions are not really very compulsory. First two conditions of bhakti. What is the first condition? All other desires should be almost zero. He did not make it a compulsory condition. It's a recommended condition. It is not a compulsory condition. Now it sounds more hopeful. Because some devotee may not be able to fully get rid of material desires. Like Dhruva, like Gajendra. But did Gajendra and Dhruva achieve Uttama Bhakti? But we should try our best to come close to the ideal standard. We should not take this as a license for slackening our bhakti. Okay? Any other query? You were able to understand?
Yes.
Your good name, Prabhu?
My name is Angelo.
Angelo. Yes.
When Mother Yashoda was chastising Krishna, we can say it's unfavorable.
When Mother Yashoda is chastising Krishna, we can say it is unfavorable. Right?
No.
No.
No, because it's done out of love.
No, because Krishna, he gets pleasure. That it's kind of...
Your example was quoted by, on this verse, Anyabilashita Shunyam. There is a commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He quotes this example and says, he gives two examples. Mother Yashoda, her chastisement towards Krishna externally seems unfavorable, but it is very pleasing to Krishna. And he gives a second example. When demons challenge Krishna in the war, externally it seems that Krishna is laughing and smiling and deriving great pleasure, but internally it is very unfavorable towards Krishna. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, finally, what is favorable and what is not favorable is not determined by us. What is favorable and what is not favorable is determined by Krishna himself. So he takes all these exceptional situations in his commentary on this verse, Anyabilashita Shunya. That's a wonderful question. Yes, alright.
It's because I have already heard classes in this.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. Because it doesn't come from myself.
So, Prabhuji,
Yes.
apparats are considered unfavorable, even if one does them because of material desires. Let's see what example. One disobey the spiritual master is considered an offense, isn't
Right.
it? If like he disobeys he breaks the rules, for example, but it's because of his abhilash or because of his material desires. But is it considered just abhilash because of his desires, or is it considered unfavorable?
Okay, wonderful. So, if somebody has material desires, there are some material desires which are not unfavorable to bhakti. Let me give some examples of material desires which are not unfavorable to bhakti. For example, somebody has a desire, let's say somebody says, I want to eat a particular fruit. This desire is not unfavorable to bhakti, because it is a material desire, but you can devotionalize it. There are some material desires which may lead to aparadha. For example, somebody may have a material desire. He may say, today I want to go out and watch the football match. But my guru has told me today I should, go perform this seva. Because of my material desires, I went and watched a football match. So it inevitably resulted in Gurur Avagya, disobedience of spiritual master. That is when it starts becoming unfavorable towards bhakti. Not all material desires are unfavorable. Many can be devotionalized. But those which are directly mentioned as aparadh, that cannot be devotionalized. Therefore, material desires are of two types. That which can lead to an aparadh, that which cannot lead to an aparadh. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur specifies those material desires. It is called Sukrita Uttha Anartha. Anarthas born out of material desires. But not all material desires are like that. So that is the answer to your query. Some may be like that. Right?
So, how do we know? We have to be very sincere to know which one is. What is the limit?
You should know what are the aparadhs.
Yeah.
There are 10 nam aparadhs.
Yeah.
10 nam aparadhs, and there is Vaishnava aparadh, and you should know the aparadhs towards service to the deities. If somebody knows these, they know most of the aparadhs. And then anything which we do, any material desire should not lead to those aparadhs. That's all.
But one of them is to maintain material desires.
No.
One of the offenses is to maintain material desires.
The Sanskrit says aham mamadi paramo, to maintain I and mine.
Oh.
Material attachment.
In the form of I and mine. Aham mamadi paramo namni sopya aparadha krit. So all the Shrutepi, the Sanskrit says, Shrutepi nama mahatmya yah priti rahito adhama aham mamadi paramo namni sopya aparadha krit. Even after hearing profuse glories of the name, somebody who still maintains the conception of I and mine, that person is another offender. For example, I have heard so many glories of the holy name, and then I start thinking, but still, I am the one who is preaching the holy name. I am such a big preacher. Everybody respects me. So this is how the acharyas explain this aparadh. I and mine in relationship with the holy name. That final aparadh is maintaining attachments, but in relationship. I am the one who is speaking Harikatha. Everybody benefits because of me. I am the greatest. So this is the I and mine that is mainly being spoken of there. Because I recently, while I was doing nectar of instruction, I happened to do all the 10 offenses with the original Sanskrit and the commentary of Srila Sanatana Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas. So there he explains exactly what is the limit of each and every offense. Otherwise, small material desires will also start becoming an offense. Somebody has a desire to eat a fruit. Is that an aparadh towards Krishna now? No. So that last offense has a certain limit. I and mine in relationship with propagation of the holy name should be avoided. That is the meaning of that offense. Which means that if somebody is speaking the glories of holy name, somebody is a good preacher, they should be very careful not to have I and mine. That I have the ability, I can speak so much. All the glory is mine. I and mine should be avoided. That is the meaning of that. So I hope that satisfies your query. Yeah.
What about if somebody in their psychological evolution, they need to be they need some appreciation, from others. So is it when is in Annapara, because maybe you've been had a bad childhood and you need to be appreciated, So how to sort it out.
See, everybody needs to be appreciated. That is good. When appreciation comes itself, it is good. It is bad when you start seeking it out. I hope you understand that there are two things. One is called pratishtha, one is called pratishtha asha. The acharyas have not said anything against pratishtha, reputation. The acharyas have said against pratishtha asha, the desire to get more reputation. Is Srila Prabhupada reputed? Yes or no? Yes. Is reputation a problem or desire to get reputation a problem? Desire to get reputation. So everybody needs to be appreciated, and Krishna will send appreciation when you need it. But tomorrow if you think, I cannot survive without appreciation, so let me try to seek out appreciation, that is a problem. That becomes a problem. I will show you here, it is specified. See here, pratishtha asha, the desire for name, fame and high position. Prabhupada is saying. He doesn't say name, fame and high position. What does he say? The desire for name, fame and high position. The desire to be appreciated. So it's not pratishtha, it is pratishtha asha. The desire to get more. If you are satisfied with whatever little you were given, that is not a problem. But if you want more, that is a problem. I will ask you one simple question. Do devotees appreciate each other?
Depends.
In general? Yes. Do they say good words to you when you do seva? Sometimes. That sometimes is enough.
Huh?
That sometimes is enough. But if we say no every time, they should do, then that becomes asha. What is the meaning of asha? Desire. That desire is no. See, somewhere, sometimes I am traveling, sometimes I give a class, and some devotees, they say, okay, all right, thank you. And some other places, devotees say, wow, that was so nice. You spoke very well, Prabhu. And then, in some places, if I don't get, and if I say, oh, this place was not nice, nobody glorified me. So that is asha. That asha I should not have. Because that asha, that desire, it will give great pain when it is not satisfied. So, nirasha, no desire. Somebody appreciates, what seva? What is your main seva? What is your main seva?
Well, I wrote some books and it made me think.
She helps Lokanath Maharaj with Padayatra things.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful seva. Very nice. Padayatra, distribution of books. Wonderful. That's a very nice seva. Sometimes devotees will appreciate. Other times devotees may not appreciate. When they don't appreciate, we don't have to have asha. We should not have that asha. It will come.
Why someone would appreciate and somebody else would not? Why?
Why? For some devotees it is very important service. For some devotees, now Mataji is rolling cotton wicks. Is it important service or not?
The service is absolute. You can, mop the floor, clean the toilets, cook for Krishna. It's absolute.
Yeah, that is ideally every service is absolute. That we understand.
It's absolute.
But in our minds, some services we consider more important, And some services we consider less important.
But it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be. Therefore, the answer to your question is there. Because some devotees consider some services as more important, they appreciate those services.
Like Prabhupada said, distribute books.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Prabhupada said, make life members. Prabhupada said, Gurukul. Prabhupada said, farm. Prabhupada said, Varnashram. Prabhupada said, everybody can find a quote for their particular seva. But if somebody appreciates our seva, then they will speak nicely about us. If somebody doesn't appreciate so much, they will say, it's okay.
Or maybe he's a bit envious then.
Maybe, that is also a possibility. I will give you my example. Some places you go and say, oh, Hari Parshad, somebody says, yeah, nice seva. Somebody else says, yeah, anybody can speak, so what is the big thing? Right? Anybody can speak, what is the big thing? How much does it take to speak? Oh, when you sit down and prepare for the class, then you know how much it takes to speak. That is. But nobody sees that hard work. That hard work is not seen. So some people appreciate, some do not appreciate. That's all right. That's all right. Bhagwan appreciates. That is
But who
it.
cares if they do or who cares if they do or they don't?
No. We are not impersonal. We care, we feel hurt.
Well, I mean, that's relative, it's not absolute. Not why should I feel hurt if someone doesn't like me or he doesn't like what I do. Who cares what he thinks about me?
Because this attitude, who cares, it is individualism. It is in the Western world. Who cares?
But should I feel offended if you don't like me, or should I feel, less than you if you don't like what I do? And that's your opinion. I don't care about your opinion.
Wonderful.
Why should I? I just care about. Should I feel inferior than you? No, I don't feel superior or inferior than you, because your opinion is maybe less than mine. Maybe you are less intelligent. So why should I care what you think about me?
Okay. Let's see from the devotee's point of view. There were many god brothers of Srila Prabhupada who never appreciated Srila Prabhupada's service.
Because they were envious.
Maybe not only envious, but maybe they did not care so much. Some of them. But Srila Prabhupada, he always wanted to have good relationship with all the god brothers. Srila Prabhupada did not say, I don't care about him. Srila Prabhupada used to say, if he can help me, I care very much about him. So that attitude is very much important. Because if you say, I don't care, then you are performing neglect. What you are doing is neglect.
There is a story about, Krishna Maharaj. He went to see some of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, god brothers, and they were criticizing Srila Prabhupada. So Krishna Maharaj went back and told what he heard from his, Srila Prabhupada's god brothers. Oh, Srila Prabhupada, they say this about you, you are this, you are that. And Prabhupada said, because they cannot do it, what I have done, of course, tell them how many temples have they opened, how many disciples have they made. So they were negative about Srila Prabhupada, but Prabhupada made this point that, whatever you say about me, what have you done? What have you done for Pakistan? Have you achieved my same goals? No. So that was his, supreme self-confidence that, he didn't feel like, they're criticizing me now, I should probably, not to,
Agreed. But did Prabhupada become negative towards them?
No, of course he did not. No, he did not.
And if he would meet them on any public platform, would he show them respect or not?
Always, of course.
So As long as that is there is no problem. Because what happens, we sometimes become negative towards people who don't respect us. As long as that is not there, we are still Vaishnavas.
Of course. That's the philosophy. Give respect to others, not to respect nothing.
Because sometimes when we say, I don't care about you, it sometimes comes with a lot of disrespect.
No, I don't care, but I don't care, but I've got the right to, step back and, stay away from you.
Yes. That is alright. That is allowed. But becoming negative towards somebody else,
it's not. The Vaishnava is very forgiving, so it's not, doesn't hold any grudge or, any other bad, feelings for others. Although some people may do you wrong, you just distance yourself and that's it, finish. You don't even judge that person because you understand the mentality of that person. So
now we are on the same page.
Okay, thank you. What?
Should we?
Me? You want me?
Should we pause?
Now?
Anybody else has?
Finish the class?
Anybody else wanted to ask anything? Okay. Thank you very much once again, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your kindly comment.
Hari Parshad Prabhu ki.
Jai. Devotee Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Jai.
Prabhu is giving tomorrow morning class again. Please try to be here. And tomorrow Prabhu is giving class in the evening as well. Same time, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. The theme is killing of Vatsasura.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any specific shloka to be written for tomorrow?
No, I just got that. Okay.
It's too late for you in India now, and the Indian time still. Would like to eat.
Yeah, we'll have Prashadam and then we'll take rest.
Okay.
This is still early, Prabhuji.
Yeah?
We have adjusted in a single day, no problem.
That's like Prabhupada. Yeah?
I think it'll be fun.
That's very sweet. I'll go prepare.